Gervonta Davis is a nobody. Nobody knows him in Europe. Nobody knows him in Africa. Nobody knows him in Asia. Nobody knows him in South America. Nobody knows him in North America other than the United States of America. Gervonta Davis is not global. And in order to be global, Gervonta Davis has to fight Keyshawn Davis, who isn't global. And he needs to fight Shakur Stevenson, who's not global. We're going to talk about the fact that with a straight face, people are saying that Gervonta Davis is not a big name, that he's not a big draw, and that he needs Keyshawn Davis to get him there. Let's talk about that in this video. I've heard some pretty wild things. As a YouTube content creator, as a boxing fan, and if you accept the label that people put on me, which is a dang lie, journalist and pundit. Nah, bro, I'm just a boxing fan. However, I can guarantee you something. I've been around long enough to know full well when people are trying to pull the wool over my eyes and spread narratives that make absolutely no sense whatsoever to drive down the value or the perception of a fighter. I've seen it very, very consistently over the last several years, and yesterday was no different. As I was told in front of a lot of people that Gervonta Davis is a nobody, that he's not a big name, and that he needs to fight guys like Keyshawn Davis so he can finally live up to his potential. Now, before I get into the details of this, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. Hit the like button, and if you really like the content, if I say anything that may inspire you or something that you think you didn't think of before, let me know in the comment section. And hey, if you want to support with the super thanks, that would be greatly appreciated because that is how we sponsor this video. But let's get into it. Keyshawn Davis, who is one of the better contenders in the lightweight division. He is promoted by Bob Arum in Top Rank. He is a close associate of one of Gervonta Davis's his main nemesis, in my opinion, who is Shakur Stevenson. Said some things about Gervonta Davis that anybody with two ears and common sense knows that he is adding all kind of fluff to, because he's saying, hey, man, Gervonta Davis is easy work. He's too short. He's a midget. He's got midget arms. He's easy. He's nothing. All of that, right? Kind of the same thing Floyd Schofield said about him. The guy that's ranked in the top 3 of the WBA in line to be a mandatory for Gervonta Davis. Said, oh, it's easy. I'll stop him in 4. This is easy work, right? Just like all these young fighters, for some reason, think Gervonta Davis, when they're talking out their mouth, are real easy work. This is nothing, right? So, I guess people somehow contort that into Gervonta needing him. And why does Gervonta need him instead of the fight that he has right now, Lamont Roach, right? Why does he need that? He needs that because he's not global. Gervonta Davis is not global. You have to understand, yes, he's okay in the United States. I mean, yeah, I guess a couple of you guys know him over there, but I'm over here in who the fuck knows section of Britain, and we don't know him over here. Even though I'm on the internet talking about him all the time, and I know perfectly well who he is, nobody knows him over here. He's not global. He needs to do something to be global and live up to his potential. It's amazing that that a huge part of the boxing conversation that takes place on platforms that are global, like Twitter being global, YouTube being global, every newspaper and every Amazon being global, the highlights for the Showtime cards and the pay-per-views of Gervonta Davis being available globally, for some reason, it's just not the globe. So I continue to ask questions and try to get to understanding of why would you say that the man who on this globe is the number 2, number 3 at the least, number 2, number 3 at the least revenue producing fighter in the world is not global. He fights people from all over the world. All people all over the world come to the United States to fight all the time. It's literally, United States of America is literally the global mecca for boxing, period. Lomachenko comes here to fight. Beterbiev has come here to fight. Usyk has come here to fight. Joshua's come here to fight. Fury's coming here to fight. You literally cannot name a Lomachenko comes here to fight. All the top Mexicans come here to fight. All the top Ukrainians come here to fight. All the top Australians come here to fight. Then how in the world is all of the fact that I don't understand it? How come all these people come to the United States? All these nationalities come to the United States. Gennady Golovkin's not global? Isn't he from Kazakhstan? People know Gennady Golovkin all over the world. Gennady Golovkin has been fighting in the United States for years. Lennox Lewis, one of the biggest names out of the UK, fought almost his entire career in the United States. His entire championship career in the United States. See, what you guys don't understand is, or you don't want to admit, that the United States is the global when it comes to boxing. Everything else is domestic. If all you do is fight in Mexico, you're not international. You're domestic because that's the level of fighters that are fighting in Mexico. The domestic level fighters in the UK are fighting in the UK. The international level UK fighters have all come to America. They're just not big draws, so they can't stay here. But if they could stay here, you better believe they would stay here and they wouldn't go back over there unless you could get a welfare project from somebody in Saudi Arabia to kick them the money. But even the Saudi Arabian welfare project can't get Canelo out of the United States and can't get Gervonta out of the United States. Dude, the United States of America boxing is global. And when you come out of the top of the United States, dude, you're Gucci around the world. And that's been the case with everybody. It's the case with Floyd and Ali and Mike Tyson. Everybody, Oscar De La Hoya, everybody that got to the top of boxing in the United States became global. But for some reason, Gervonta Davis isn't. It's you guys that are global, even though you're not doing anything but going from Great Britain to Spain and fighting somebody and don't nobody know, and that's the same drive as it is to get from Dallas to Austin. And let me also break something to you. There's something called the Monroe Doctrine. The United States of America literally has half the globe on lock. You know, the Western Hemisphere, Canada, United States, Mexico, Central America, South America, all those people have access to U.S. sports. And they're all in the same time zones as we are. We don't need the Eastern Hemisphere. If you've not got this, you global people, and I get this global crap, you think that the Western Hemisphere, you think the Eastern Hemisphere and Europe is the whole globe. That's what you mean. You think you guys are the world power there. We're the center of the world. No, you're not. There's a Western Hemisphere and an Eastern Hemisphere. Guess what? Monster Inoue is a big fighter in Japan. He don't mean shit. He does in the Western Hemisphere. He doesn't do anything in the Western Hemisphere. The only thing he's doing something is in Japan because that's the time zone he's on. And maybe the other countries around there that are still in that same time zone. So stop this nonsense. You guys make arguments that are ridiculous. Of course, Gervonta Davis is global. Of course he is. Every fight that he sells is seen all over the world. And can we please stop with these corny ass Eddie Hearn tactics of just walking out of your house, asking somebody you don't even know You don't know their name. You don't know where they're from. You don't know if they like boxing. You don't know if they like sports. You don't even know if they have a television set. And you ask, who's Gervonta Davis? And they don't even know who you are. You're just asking me, do you know a guy named Gervonta? Huh? Gervonta? No, I don't know Gervonta's. Exactly. Because you're not putting her, well, hey, do you know of a boxer? Well, I don't know any boxers. Really? I don't pay attention to boxing. Well, go find, I'm sorry. Let me ask you, do you pay attention to boxing? Yeah, I love boxing. Have you ever heard of Gervonta? Yeah, of course. That's what you're going to hear when you actually ask somebody. But dude, there can be the world's most famous flute player, like literally, like globally known as universally the world's best flute player, has millions of people across the world loving to listen to her play the flute. And she's global. But if you go ask any random person who doesn't pay attention to flute players, if they know her or not, they're going to be like, no, who the hell is that? Just like you try to do with Gervonta and Deontay Wilder and Americans. You play that corny game where you just walk out and ask some random person you don't know if they know about something and you give them no context. Now, of course, if you walk out and say, hey, have you ever heard of Donald Trump? A U.S. president with a bunch of drama around him. Of course they've heard of him, right? Because he is ubiquitous. Okay, there's a difference between being known globally and being globally ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means you can walk out and ask anybody about, hey, have you ever heard of Jesus? Yeah, Jesus is ubiquitously known throughout the world, okay? Hey, have you ever heard of, Gandhi? You ever heard of Martin Luther King? Dude, you don't have to be Martin Luther King to be known globally. So please stop this corny stuff, all right? Trying to tear this guy down on just BS. Anyway, and he dang sure don't need people who are not global to get there. Like, how in the world does him fighting other people that nobody knows going to make him get known? It's just stupid. Anyway, that's my take of the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Salute. Deuces.